All right. Hello. Thank you for joining me today on the Daily Reflection. We're doing the weekly weekly Places of Opposites reading. We're going to be using the Archagel Gabriel Oracle Cards deck, created by Doreen Virtue. And it's been a pretty consistent theme in the past couple days in meditation. About the need to pause, about the need to know when you need to pause and what that means to you. Does it mean just taking a moment for yourself, whether it's sitting for 2 minutes, sipping on your favorite cup of coffee and just noticing where you are? Does it mean an hour of meditation? Does it mean taking a day off from everything? What does pause mean to you? What does it mean when you need to take a pause, and what does that look like for you? And I know for me that's not going to be the same every day. It's really important to me to take time for myself, for self-healing, for my own spiritual growth work and all that, to have a certain amount of time every day that's just for me in that regard. But sometimes pause is even a little bit different than that. Sometimes it's really just stopping and not engaging. Sometimes it is simply changing my schedule around a little bit so that I have less to do. So really just look at for yourself what areas of your life you need to take a pause in, and whether you need to stop and reflect, or just know that it's in a cycle of pause, in a cycle of momentary lull. And just really look for yourself. I think it's easiest for us when our whole life is either going in a flow, so we know when things are growing, expanding, and when they're coming down. But sometimes different aspects of our lives and ourselves are expanding and pausing and contracting all at different rates. So, your personal relationships may be like, expanding, and your business may be contracting. Your personal spiritual growth may be expanding, and your communication with others may be contracting. And sometimes when those come in ways that don't seem in a big togetherness, when they're on-off cycles, sometimes we think, our life is out of sync. And maybe it is, but maybe it's not. Maybe, you need to focus on a certain area, and so other things go into pause. So anyway, it's just for you to look at for yourself. It's come up pretty consistently for the past 5 days. Just that need to know what your own inner cycles are, where you are in each of them, and how much and what type of a pause you need. All right. So we're going to start with prayer. So may it be with the blessings of the Supreme Being, that whatever happens during the communication of this moment will benefit each person who finds it in their own processes, their spiritual growth, their awareness, their understanding of themselves, and their understanding of their place in life. May this communication find people in divine timing, and may it be clear. Amen. All right. So the Places of Opposites reading is a 5-card reading. Sometimes it's more than 5 cards. But it is at least a 5-card reading, and we look at the duality of things. And the top card and the bottom card is the duality of what we are focused on and understand to be happening, and what we are unaware of that is still happening and influencing the same things. The left and right cards look at both the duality of the passage of time, where we're coming from, where we're going to, or the passage of growth, spiritual lessons we're been coming out of and where we're moving to. But also the duality between the analytical mind, how we think, what we focus on, how we process in our mind, versus our emotional wisdom, how we feel, what we know, what we understand from an abstract perspective. And then the center card is the card that ties everything together. I call it a theme. Sometimes it's just the focus, and sometimes it's a resolution. There are people who have a desperate question in their heart when they find these videos, and sometimes that center card is the resolution or the answer of where they should look or contemplate, or sometimes it's just a understanding. So, all right. Top card is the top card. So that'll be the card for what we understand and know is going on. The bottom card is the things that are happening that we're not aware of. The left is our analytical mind, or where we're coming from, and the card to the right is our emotional wisdom, where we're headed to. And the theme in the center. I'm going to leave that one out just in case. They were both kind of vibrating there. All right, so the top card, the law of attraction. I think most people have heard of this, at least a little bit. I have seen a few what would maybe appear to be different interpretations of this, but they all come down to the same thing. They really do. And basically it is what you put your attention on and your intention into is going to flourish. But also to be aware of when we don't like something that's happening. When we go into a resistance against something, our focus narrows down to just that thing that we are pushing against. And we can't see any other aspects of life. We can't see the flow of other things that are going around us. So as you are focusing your attention and your intent may be focused on where you want to go. And if you hit a roadblock or an energy that you're resisting and your attention becomes on that and you're pushing against it, then suddenly your focus is no longer on your intent. It's on what you don't want, but that's all you can see. So other things may be coming to you, they may be flowing around you, the potentials are there, but all you can see is that thing you're pushing against. So it's really an awareness of, are you focused on what your intention is and letting any roadblocks or anything that comes up against that or things you don't like to flow on by? Or are you shifting your attention? So be aware of where your attention is, what your intentions are. And if you don't like the vibration of where you are feeling, if you don't feel good, if you feel tired, run down, then make that shift. If you're feeling tired, take that pause. If you are feeling unhappy, take a moment to shift and find one thing that day that was just awesome. And the other thing is, there is a human tendency, at least I have noticed in the culture around me, where you may have had a wonderful day. Everything went just right, your scheduling was, except for this one thing. And again, that one thing, we took the 95% of our day that was going great, and we took our attention off of that and diverted it to the one thing that went wrong. And then suddenly the day is bad. And a lot of times if we back up and be like, oh wait, you know what? I got up on time. I fixed myself a good breakfast. I said hello and communicated with my family before we all left for our different days. I accomplished all my tasks on time. If we go back and shift to all the things that went right, even if they weren't perhaps exciting, but if they just went right, then we reset that law of attraction and we reset into the flow of things going right. But I tell you, if you stay focused on the one thing that went wrong, pretty soon all these other little gnats and things going wrong come in and compile it. And that's the law of attraction. So, and it's what we're aware of. You are aware of really right now how what you focused on came into being. But what's opposite of that we may not be aware of what's going on, oh, interesting, is expressing your inner truth. I see a lot of are just really working on what is my inner truth. What do I want to give out into the world? What is my gift? How do I want to express that? How do I want to give that? And it may not be the way that you think about your life and every day, but the reality of it is every action you take, every communication you have, every thought you think is you being you in real life, in real time, every moment. So again, notice for yourself as you're sifting through this process, how many of those actions, how many of the things that you did today align with that inner thing, that inner truth, that inner part of yourself, and what you want to give out to the world, what you want to express, how you want to be known. Were you in alignment with yourself today? Or were you in contradictory? Were you in alignment with yourself, or were you butting against yourself? I'm sorry, that's the image. Because that'll be important. That'll make the difference in whether you feel like you're moving in the law of attraction, whether you feel like you're moving forward, whether you feel in the flow, or whether you feel like you're bouncing against rocks. And a lot of it is, are you being in alignment with your inner truth? And are you expressing it, or are you hiding it? So, all right. Our analytical wisdom, or where we're coming from. Creative expression, which, through my analytical mind, because my analytical mind doesn't think of itself as expressing creatively, but it does. It really does. The way we logic through something, or the way we solve a problem, that is still an expression of our creativity. That is still an expression of how we handle problems. And if our analytical mind can embrace its own creativity, its own solutions, its own problem-solving mechanisms, and not have to fall in line with somebody else's rules or guidance even, then you can release that judgment on not being creative or not having a good enough mind. Because if you have a creative mind or a logical mind, however your analytical mind works is perfect for you. And it is expressing your creativity. It is expressing your inner truth in its own way. So, I also see, though, timeline-wise, there is a movement of coming out of just pure creative expression, and kind of moving into directed creative expression, taking that creativity and directing it. And that for some, that feels like losing creativity because you like the explosive moment. But we also have to be able to take that explosive moment and allow it to lead us logically to the next thing. So to the right is the emotional wisdom, our intuition, how we process things at. And it's a new project. Intuitively, you know what the next step is to take. Intuitively, you know what things are coming to a close and what things are getting ready to begin. And again, that energy of taking a pause. What things are coming to a close? Can you pause and appreciate that? Can you pause and appreciate that some things are coming to a close so that you have room for a new thing? Or do you go into resistance and judgment about how this is ending and I don't know what to do, and it feels weird, or maybe it's the converse, where you're just so ready for the new project, you haven't taken time to close the previous one. So allow yourself that transition, allow yourself the flow, allow yourself to end and begin, to contract and expand, to breathe in and to pause and notice where you are in the process. And that's all coming from your emotional wisdom, your intuition. You just know. So allow yourself to know. And marry it with the creative expression of your analytical mind, of what the next steps are. You know things are changing. You know things are coming. How do you work that? How do you look at that? How do you integrate that? Allow both sides of that duality to work for you, moving yourself forward. Earlier this week, we saw that courage card, that taking all the bits and pieces and moving them together. Allow your intuition and your analytical mind to work together to serve you, to move you forward, or to move you into the moment so that you can enjoy the here and now. There's a concept. All right. And the center card today, oh, interesting. Vision board. And what I'm seeing for a good portion of you, you want to express your inner truth, and you want to do it creatively, and you want to start something new, but you're not quite sure all of what that is. So spend some time with it. Take that pause. Spend some time with it. Put down your thoughts. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Find pictures. This is what I want. This is the essence of how I want to feel. This is the essence of what I want to create. This is the essence of how I want to express my truth. And just allow yourself all the different ways to do that. Analytical lists. These are the qualities. Boom, 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 boom. Pictures. Mind maps. Letting your brain just flow out onto the paper. Taking time to center and visualize it in your mind's eye. Taking time to connect to the flow. All of that comes together in this center card of vision board. Refine your vision. Know what the energy of it is. Set yourself into place. All right. And the Places of Opposites reading is a 10-day window, generally. So give yourself that week and a half to really refine your vision, to be in a moment of pause, to understand what's ending, what you want to create, and where you are in that moment. It's like taking a deep breath in and holding it and feeling the fullness of that breath and how good it feels to have oxygen. Or on the exhale, that pause of after you've released everything and you're cleared out and there's room for the new breath. Allow yourself all those rhythms. Really, the energy is about allowing your inner truth to come out in the way that you want and to create for yourself and to heal yourself in doing it and finding your rhythms, taking the pause. That's it. That's the Places of Opposites today. I hope you are genuinely blessed through this process, and that when you find those moments of frustration, you don't dwell on the frustration. You acknowledge it. Like, that's something that I'm going to have to work on. But then shift your focus back to that essence of what you want to create, and allow yourself your inner vision. Allow yourself your creativity, even if you are generally an analytical, left-brained person. Allow yourself to have creativity within your own structure. You are unique, and how you express your creativity is unique, but you are creative, and you are logical, and you have an analytical mind, and you have intuition. Allow it all to come together to that courageous picture that moves you forward into your vision. Take care.